everyone, this is Soumya from Fun With Yourself, and today we're gonna study the chapter 1 Integers Introduction and Recap for class 7th. Alright, so let's get started. Now, the first thing that comes to our mind when we think about integers is what exactly are integers? Well, integers are numbers from both the positive and the negative number set. For example, -3 is a negative number and 3 is a positive number. Always remember, although there isn't any sign in front of our 3 here, there is always a sign in front of a positive number, and that is a plus or a positive sign. Alright, let's get on. Now, we'll see how integers play a role on the number line. Now, let's observe our number line closely. We'll see that we have both the positive and the negative number sets here, which means that it is an integer number line. And did you realize that all the positive numbers are on the right side of the number line and all the negative numbers are on the left side of the number line? This will help us immensely while doing some of the calculations on the number line that are given here. Alright, now let's see our first example, which is -4 plus 2. So, one thing that you might know or you must know about the number line is that when you add a number, you move to the right side. Everyone knows that. Alright, so let's use that to calculate this. We start on -4 and add 2, which means we move 2 to the right side. Alright, so 4, 3 and 2. We have moved 2 times. So, where do we land? We land on -2. Is this our answer? Yes, this is our answer, and we will write -2 here. Alright, let's move on to the next example. Now, our next example is 5 plus -1. Now, always remember, when we are adding a negative number, we move to the left side on the number line, which means that we start on 5 and move once to the left, which will land us on the positive number 4. So, answer is 4, or you can also write it as +4. Alright, the next example now. 1 minus 8. Now here what we are doing is subtracting a positive number. Now here we will move to the left side on the number line. Now, did you see one thing in common in adding a negative number and subtracting a positive number? Aren't they same moving to the left side? Well, they are, because when minus and plus signs come together, they come together and make the minus sign. You can say that this plus sign vanishes from here. So, our sum would actually be 5 minus 1, which is same as subtracting a positive number. Alright, now let's solve this. Now, we have to move to the left side and are starting at 1. So, first we will start from 1 and move left 8 times. So, we will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And we land on -7. So, -7 is our answer. Alright, now subtracting a negative number. Alright, So always remember, whenever two negative signs come together, they form a positive number, which is plus. And so our sum would actually be -5 plus 10. So you can remember it like that. The two lines of the negative number come together and make two lines together, which is a plus. Alright, now doesn't on the number line we move to the right side when we are adding a positive number, as you know. So isn't that just the same? These two methods that we saw here were also the same, and also the first and the last one. Alright, now let's solve this. We have to start on -5 and move to the right side 10 times. So when we start from -5, we move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So where do we land? We land on 5, which can also be written as +5. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, now there are some things that you always need to remember. These are really important. Always remember that a positive plus a positive number always gives you a positive number. And a negative number when added give you only a negative number. Now let's see some example. Alright, so first example is 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So you can see a positive number when added to a positive number gives you a positive number 10. Let's see 7 plus 7. Does it give you a positive number? Of course it does. It gives you 14. Alright, now let's see these examples. -6 plus -6 is equal to -12. Now let's take the example of -15 plus -15. Oops. And what do we get here? Of course we get a negative number. Alright. Of course you should remember that whenever a plus and minus sign come together, what do they give us? They give us the minus sign. Always remember that. So -15 will make us go to the left side on the number line, which will land us on -30. Alright, the last one. So positive and the negative number. Now this is a bit tricky. This is the tricky one. Here, let's understand this from an example. 3 plus -4 is equal to -1. But -5 plus 7 is equal to 2. Now isn't this a bit confusing? Why do we have different signs here? Well, when you're adding one positive and one negative number, we have the sign of the greater number. That is without the sign. Now, when you are solving this, what you need to do first is write this here and without the signs. So, our first number is 3 and the second one is 4. Now, which is the bigger? Obviously, it's 4. So, what we will do is subtract the smaller number from the greater number. So we will write 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So what do we get from this? Did I say the sign of the greater number? Of course I did. As our 4 was greater here, without the sign, we will use the sign of our 4, which is minus. So in our answer, we will add our minus sign, which will give us -1. Now this may take some time to take in, so just rewind the video and watch it again if you're not clear. Alright, now let's take the second example, which is minus 5 plus 7 is equal to 2. Now here a bigger number is 7, and what we have to do is subtract our smaller number, of course without the sign, from this bigger number, which will give us 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. And as our 7 is greater here and as has a positive sign, we will add either a positive sign or we can also leave it as 2. So 2 is our answer. Alright, now let's have one last topic in this video, which is additive inverse. Additive inverse is basically the opposite. So the opposite of 10 is minus 10. The opposite of minus 10 is 10. The opposite of 76 is minus 76. And the opposite of minus 25 is 25. So basically what you are doing is adding a negative sign or taking out the negative sign. That's all. So we can conclude that minus A's additive inverse would be A and A's additive inverse would be minus A. So I think this topic was pretty easy and we would cover the rest of the chapter in the next video. Bye till then.